Well, again, again, it's not by design, but that is the uniqueness of this year's school schedule, that we got into a one-a-day mode. We're equally allowed 29 practice opportunities. So teams that haven't started school yet, like the quarter schools, actually were in two-a-days through last week. But that being said, you only get 29 practices. So in our world, those practices get spread out a little bit more. Last week, some guys were in two-a-days. That's not an advantage, disadvantage. There's 29 practices. Us last week in a one-a-day mode, you did have a chance to get a feel for your academic schedule. I think there's a lot of stress on student athletes and how you perform, and I think as the semester starts, you're getting a feel for how long it takes to get to class, to get to a tutor, to transition, to eat, to rest, have time to get to a rehab treatment, just how to go through your day, and on the football side, have a physical presence and a mental edge of playing well. So I appreciate the administration academically kind of fitting that in. I had nothing to do with it, but I thought it was I think it gives us a chance. So we actually, we're practicing mornings. You guys are aware of that. It's not a big deal, but just we get a 4-hour block of time most days, and we're just blocking the front end. Most of our guys are starting class at 12:20 or at 1 o'clock. So we're doing things in the morning, and we practice two-a-days. We went through in preseason like we were practicing in the morning. If it was two practices, here's your meeting times, here's how long it takes to get the equipment out, tape ankles, just all those little kinks that hopefully you can practice in a good way. So hopefully it went well. Again, it doesn't matter if you don't play well. So as you go through the season, it'll be an interesting 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks down, how the kids feel, staying fresh, working well, academically doing well. It'll be interesting to move forward. I'm excited about it. I think our coaches like it. Feedback from the kids sounds good. And I think we're practicing well. But ultimately, you want to make sure you're doing things where then you're performing well and winning games. So I guess there's a little time to see how that works out. Zach. The who? I want no player turmoil. I saw the other day Texas has had 17 guys leave in the last 19 months, and that's Texas with billions and gazillions of dollars. It's nuts. It's college football. Guys come and go. That's not turmoil though. It's turmoil if you want to say it's a story. The story was the young guys working hard, doing well, and Will Maddie buying in. That's a great story. It wasn't turmoil. I mean, turmoil is like controversy in the Middle East. That's turmoil. We're playing football. No, it's year two. You guys keep going back to the past. You can, with you guys, the way we talk, and we can go to the future real quick with some stories of success. And, if you look backwards a whole lot, you're not going to go anywhere. So we've been looking forward a long times. Unfortunately, some guys didn't want to do some things the way we wanted it done, whether it's going to class on time or following some rules or just practicing hard. Some guys that maybe as hard as we're working didn't want to keep working hard when you're not playing, because if your talent level's at a set and you're getting up, you're working 365 days a year almost. We got 9 discretionary weeks, but you're kind of working year round and you don't play. So there's always some attrition. Always has been, always will be in every sport, in every team, every program. And but this is year two, and we've moved forward to year two. So you want to keep drawing parallels and analysis and all that. People want to talk about teams that did bad and other schools that did bad. And look what happened year one. Year one's year one. We've tried to learn from it, move forward, and try to do what's best for us. It's no parallels to anyone else, and it's we're just trying to create a culture in our building about how to work and how to win. Kids buying in, and it's much more positive in practice. Now, is that because guys are maybe a little bit more with us or understand? Maybe. I think those morning practices are pretty good. I think guys are jumping into practice. They don't have a lot of dead weight and going through the day and worried about class. They're kind of jumping in ball, and then classes on the second part. Hopefully our grades won't slip. We've done well in school, but we're making some good strides on the football side. So, but again, this is year two for me, for our program, and this is game one. Well, today not very good. Today not very good. So his response today wasn't good. He was kind of off today. So, matter of fact, if we play offense like we did today, we won't score many points this year. So we'll see. So, you got to bring it every day. I think we have a chance to be a very good offense, and our goal and our standard is to play upper-level offense in this league. And today we're just a little bit out of sync, out of kinks. So we kind of tried to address it with those guys, because as you go through the week, you're building for the game. And like to see us be a little crisper, but that's the great thing of Tuesdays. Tuesdays practices are always a little junky. You're throwing a lot of stuff at them, you're working out the kinks, you're working out their blitzes, you're working out their looks and building. But we're a little off. I do think, though, Trey, we've got still issues when you talk. The turmoil that we have is the turmoil of guys understanding how to practice hard every day, how to bring it every day, how to play at a high level, how to be when you're an average player on a team that's not very good, that's not good enough, and how to take your talent, even though you might start, your level of play isn't very good. So we've talked to Trey, and he's been one guy that I think did realize, hey, I got to play a lot better. And at the same time, though, that quarterback plays better when the surrounding parts are good. You get a little running game going, you get some protection going, receivers catch it and space it out. And that quarterback's going to look good with everyone playing. But Trey's done well, but we got a lot on him. There's a lot of pressure to be a good quarterback in the Big Ten, and we're putting a lot on him, and we'll see if he can handle it. He just consistently made the fewest mistakes. That definitely gives us, a little bit of threat of a quarterback run game, but made the fewest mistakes with the ball and got to where he was clicking in the passing game at a reasonably high level. He's also probably, of those guys, probably a little bit more comfortable being here longer, a little bit more of a natural leader right now. But he consistently, not even close, played at the highest level of practice. Well, I think they're awfully good. They play extremely hard. Run the ball well. Got a running back. They're going to try to, they're going to try to keep it a short game if they can. They do a great job protecting their quarterback and taking shots and double moves. They do a good job early of trying to get you out of the rhythm to establish a run, but have a lot of balance early in what they do. Defensively, they're very, very active. They got a really good front, a reasonably high-end player at defensive end, number 92. That's awfully good. I think they have two senior linebackers that play with great presence, and you're watching them play Penn State and fly around. The score got a little hand, but they are teeing off on those cats. I think they got 6 preseason all-league players. They got an excellent punter, Trent, that I know reasonably well, not great, but I got a lot of respect for him. It's a no-nonsense guy that's going to get a team to play their style. I believe their style is they're going to try to be a very physical football team. They're going to try to run the ball. They're going to play great defense, and they're going to play stubborn defense. They're going to take away that run and try to get you one-dimensional, get you third and long, and tee off on your quarterback. And they're impressive. I mean, everybody says, it's FCS, you got to play Big Ten schools, and we do. I mean, we're going to play a lot of teams with probably across the board more talent than Indiana State. But there's a reason they're talking about having a chance to be conference champions. There's a reason they beat Western Kentucky 44 to something last year, 17 I think it was. There's a reason that, when you're playing in that league and you're playing against Northern Iowa and North Dakota State that won the championship in that league, and Youngstown State, you're playing Illinois State. They're playing some real good football teams. The quality of the upper echelon of that league is very comparable to MAC programs, and MAC programs have consistently played well against the Big Ten, and MAC programs have beaten us recently as well. So I think they're a quality team. I believe they're going to come in and give us they're going to come in and fight to win the football game, and we better be ready to answer the bell, because this one is not going to be easy. And we've been talking about that for several weeks. What's that now? I'm sorry. I don't know. When you practice, there's always the give and take, ebb and flow of practices or up and down days. I do think offensively, if the offense really gets into some rhythm, there's some nice pieces. I don't know if anything is great, but there's a lot of things. And Trey's ability to run a little, and if we throw it well, and we got a couple backs, and the line plays hard, there's some balance, and you can get the ball in space. And I think even though we're young and we're not going to be great yet, I think the offense in time can be reasonably complete. And if we execute, present some problems for defenses. And I think we've made some stride defensively, but as we went through camp, I was really pleased watching our offense going against their defense. I was concerned about our defense, but I really saw some things offensively like, hey, this is what we want. This is what it looks like. We have been very great in taking care of the football, which will be key. We're talking about creating turnovers in every game, not just this game, every game, which will be key. We've worked a lot on kicking. I think we've made some strides in certain areas. I still think specifically in punting for Mr. Fisher that we need to get our punt team to execute well and specifically exchange the ball properly. And if you're sitting there, my comment to the coaches the other day, if we're on the 25-yard line and we have a net punt of 20 and the ball's on the 45-yard line, well, Buck will tell you that's 4 down territory. So if you got 4 downs to get 10 yards, you're going to get it most times. you might as well go for it. And if you don't get it, give it to them on the 25, because 3 downs to get 10 yards to kick a field goal, you probably hold them to 3. If you punt and give it to them on the 4 down, they get the first down, then they got momentum, boom, they're in the end zone. So I don't want to be this Arkansas high school guy going for it. Mike Leach was always aggressive going for it, but if we're not going to exchange it properly, that affects your 2nd down and your 3rd down calls. So we're looking at all things offensively and defensively and kicking, how to work together. But if we do have concern, we need to be a little bit better in the kick game. If we're going to play good defense, we're not going to turn it over. And when we do, the offense is going to exchange the ball and give the defense a chance to have good field position. We've worked at it. Proof will be in the pudding. You know, those punters, a little bit like the golfers and the kickers on the driving range. Now you get out there and the bullets are flying faster and the fairway tightens down, they don't kick it as well. So it'll be interesting early if we have some guys that can handle the stress of kicking in Big Ten play. Well, I don't know if anybody's won, and he's just played the best short term. Been playing the hardest. He's awfully talented. We got Isaiah Roundtree, missed about a week here for concussion, so he's a little bit on the. And to me, when you miss a lot of time right before the first game, you got to kind of earn that back. You got to kind of get back in rhythm, get in flow, and show that we can trust you with the ball. And he missed a couple scrimmages where we're banging the heck out of you, and we don't know. It's one thing versus scout staying on the ball, but when it's full go, so. We got to get Isaiah back in the mix because we've got 4 pretty decent ones. David Blackwell being the 5th, but with Steven and with Tevin and with D'Angelo, those are the 3 that we'll primarily go into this game with. They're all comparable. Tevin's probably got the most talent. Steven can be the most consistent, doesn't play the hardest, and D'Angelo's a nice change up. It fits in. So you'll see them all, and I don't know if I'd call anyone the starter, but the order right now is probably Tevin has played harder and has the most talent. And we'll start with that and see how it goes. And at the same time, if you're a good football team, you're going to play more than one back. We're going to need 2 or 3. And we talk about, throwing the ball a little bit more, but those backs, there's a lot on those guys with protections and route running and carrying the football. And so we'll need all 3 of those guys, and we'll see how Isaiah Roundtree gets back in the mix. A little bit of both. I mean, again, like I was talking to Steven the other day, and I said, maybe I'm wrong, but my standard for you is pretty high. Now, maybe I'm the guy that's wrong here. Maybe my standard shouldn't be as high. So my standard's a little bit higher than I see your performance. So maybe I'm wrong. Sometimes we all make mistakes. Maybe I'm the guy making a mistake, and I've misjudged what I think he is. I think he could be an upper-level Big Ten back. He's 220. He's got really good feet. He's got really good hands. But he needs to be better in pass protection. He needs to be more physical. He needs to run behind his pads and get 2 or 3 tough yards. That's where he's not complete. The physical side of his game needs to come out. His skill set's reasonably good. And if he can have the edge and the attitude of a great running back, he could be an upper-level running back. Right now, he's pretty good. Coleman's got a little bit more of that edge, where there's a little bit more physical presence, a little bit more toughness, and all that he brings. Now, with that, you got a freshman that makes some mistakes. So neither one's really the one yet. And D'Angelo, who's a little bit smaller, and I wouldn't call D'Angelo a scat back or a speed guy, but he's a little bit smaller, but he does give us a little bit of spark. So they're all 3 kind of different, but they all 3 can do a lot of things for us. So I think you'll see them all. And trust me, the only motivation we got for our guys is just trying to put the best guys out there to win. You'll see them all. But right now, based on what we've seen, Tevin's been the best. That's short term. But as you go into games, you'll see if things change. He just runs hard and fast, has instincts. Some guys got it. I was talking about a recruit the other night that I saw on tape, and the guys that went to offer, and I saw the other game, he had over 4 touchdowns, a couple of yards. I told you, that guy looked like some guys just look like it, right? Guy looks like a back. Looks like a back. I don't know. It's not a stopwatch. Some guys look like, some guys look like quarterbacks. Some guys don't. You can tell when they signal if they look like quarterback. And saying he's got GSP okay. He's still a freshman. He'll stink and mess it up a little bit, but he's got a nice future. But again, like around here, as soon as we do good, we've been so poor. As soon as somebody does something, pass somebody's head, their head gets inflated. We go out there and just play averages all get at. We're just a vicious cycle of up and down because no one knows how to keep coming. No one knows how to handle success. No one knows how to push themselves. And a couple guys like Trey and some guys have. Some other guys haven't done poorly. They just haven't done the standard that they're capable of doing, the standard winning that we need, the standard the culture we're trying to create. You know, you're really good when really good. We're not a bad team because of bad players. We're a bad team because good players don't play good enough. That's why you're not good. You know, every team's got bad players. You know, the really good teams have good players that play good, and good players practice good. Their Tuesdays are good, and their Wednesdays are good, and they go out there and they walk that little 2x4 on Saturday, and they fly around and they play like players. And we'll see if we got some guys that we keep bridging and walking that walk. We'll see where we get as we move forward this week. Well, they got, you know, decent sized line. They always, you know, I think they lost a couple tight ends, but I believe they'll probably keep doing what they're doing with tight end fullback guys that kind of lean on you. They do a really good job play calling early, trying to get you off guard and out of rhythm with the pass game and the way they protect the quarterback to take shots and get the ball out with bootlegs and play action. So it's just, it's a mixed ball, but he's a smaller kid that just, like a lot of guys, you don't have to be big to be a good running back, but he has decent speed, he has decent size, but he really runs hard and runs through a lot of trash for a small guy. And he's a guy that looks like a running back. He knows how to pace some things. He knows how to fill it out, see it, accelerate through. He always runs through trash. He typically, a lot of times, gets a little bit more than you block, and sometimes a lot more than you block. And so he had a really nice year last year for them, an upper level year, and I know they're expecting big things out of him. That being said, too, though, how their quarterback play and the way they complement with the receivers to get the balance is really what made that thing go last year, because they did a nice job for a running team of not just playing old school football. They're a physical team and they like to run the ball, but they do a great job of doing it with good mix, and that tries to get your defense off guard and soften you up. So I think he's a product of the whole deal, their coaching, their system. You know, and everybody says it in coaching, but when you put on tape of both sides of the ball in the kicking game of Indiana State, it's a credit to Trent, their team plays very, very hard, and that's coaching. It's schemes. Everybody can draw it up on the board and all that. But when kids fly around and play hard, that's coaching. And their team's well coached, and their running back takes advantage of that because, you know, he's the byproduct of a lot of efforts by a lot of people. Wasn't a good question? He shook it off real quick. Wasn't a good question. He shook him off real quick. Nah, you know, again, he's, you know, still learning, making mistakes. Got to get bigger, stronger. We'll have to help him out a little bit. But that just, he's very talented. It is what it is. And as you go through, well, it'll be interesting. You know, again, sometimes, you know, you can work all you want. Sometimes you get in games, dogs don't want to hunt, and the old horse will spit the bit out. So we'll see this week when we saddle up which guys want to clamp down and who wants to come to work and who's going to spit it out. And sometimes you get in games, you can do all the practices you want. You know, if a guy's a ball player, he'll come to play and he'll look like a ball player. Some guys are great practice players. A lot of guys can go on the driving range, but there's more people spit the bit out and come to play. So this, as you go this week, it'll be interesting to see a week from now and 4 weeks from now and 8 weeks from now, Jason Spriggs with a lot of talent, young player, as he clamp down the bit and keep working hard and become a good player. So we'll see. But we'll protect him up. Freshman. See, you got Coleman in the running back spot. You got Ricky Jones, who plays at receiver. Should do reasonably well. Had a nice camp. Feeney and Spriggs up front. Camille on the bubble, offensive line. D-line, probably Alex Todd in the mix with big Ralph Green a little bit on the bubble. We'll see DN. We've got some DNs, but where Mangieri is. Same deal with Jordan Wallace, linebacker. We've got some backer start, but he's kind of one of your top backups. He's probably got to play special teams. I think in the back end, you'll probably see maybe Dawson Fletcher. You got a lot of DBs that can play, but he can get in the mix and play special teams. So we'll probably those 6, 7, 8 guys. Oh, he's back practicing. Isaiah's back practicing. We've been very, Sliger had a minor deal, and he's not practiced yet, but he's out there walking around. And I think, we'll see where he is here as we go through this week and next. For as much as we've hit, as much as we've done full pad, as much as we scrimmaged, we've went reasonably hard, I think, and we stayed, I think we've been pretty healthy, and that's been the positive. So I think it's a credit to Coach Hill, and we get a little bit stronger in the conditioning level of our players. I don't think we fatigue and get in sloppy positions as much, so our conditioning level is pretty good. And that being said, I think we're pretty healthy. Now, Chapman comes back practice this week, but shoot, you missed 3 weeks, and you're not ready to play. And so we'll see. And You know, I mean, he's not in the mix to play. Neither's Isaiah Roundtree. Just if you don't practice and you miss significant time, we got enough players. We're building a team. You go to war with the guys that are fighting for you, and so we'll see if those guys get back in time. It's unfortunate, but that's the nature of the business. That's just kind of the nature of building the program. We'll see where those guys are doing. So they're all back. I'd say today. Who else? Alex Zetas, a freshman walk-on lineman. He's got a slight knee cartilage scope. He's missed a couple weeks, but so of the guys that play, the names you know about, they're all suiting up. They're all practicing. We're practicing pretty hard. Had a pretty good go out this morning, and we'll need a much better go tomorrow as we build for this week. Even's been going. We told you last week he'd go. He went last Friday. Told you the other day he was going. Any other secrets you guys need? Everybody good? Appreciate it. Have a good one.